Do. Oh, I forgot to do literally this part. Anyway, how is everybody doing? I am feeling... I'm feeling... I don't know, I don't want to say 100%, but I'm feeling like really relatively relaxed for some reason. As if like whatever big parts of... Whatever big parts of my worrying has just sort of, I guess, disappeared for now. And I can now just sort of relax and do whatever I want, you know? That's sort of my feeling at the moment. I hit this button that was on Streamlabs that I don't really know what it does. I've hit it, so we'll see what happens. Let's put some music on. Let me just turn down this light by like... Oh, that's made it brighter. Yeah, let's do it like that. How am I looking? Yeah, I'm looking okay. Obviously, I need to have a shave, but that'll be done probably after stream if I had to guess. You know? So yeah, my plan is to play some battlegrounds. I know, it's like, oh wait, you're playing Hearthstone, why aren't you playing the latest expansion? I don't have the money. If I'm being brutally honest, I just don't have the money. The amount of money that the people who you have to play to actually have access to everything to just play whatever you want. I don't have that kind of money. We can try a bit. We could do the Emerald Green recipe thing. I don't think I want to do that though. I think we're just gonna go straight into it. Anyway, how was everyone's weekends? How's everybody been doing? I've been kind of having an okay day, okay weekend. I mean, it got a bit interrupted, sadly. So I was originally going to do... We were originally going to this fancy restaurant, me and my mum, because it was Mother's Day here in the UK. And we were originally planning on going to this fancy restaurant, but because of this last minute thing that was done with the people who were caring for my granddad, we had to abandon all of that, which we're perfectly fine doing, because obviously... We're perfectly happy doing, because obviously, you know, it's family, you want to help a family. But it was a bit of an interrupt to the whole thing, and you know, they could have told us in advance so that we could prepare something else. So it's, you know, it was a bit annoying, but what can you do? And because of that, it messed up that day that was going to be really cool, you know? Other than that, I've been playing a lot more of this Pokemon fan game, Eon Guardians. Just very, very casually. It's another one of those things where I've realized very quickly that the moderation, to a certain extent, is like 100% the right thing to be doing. So what I sort of mean by that is, I've had the most fun playing RPGs when I've been playing the Rogue Trader game and the Baldur's Gate game on stream. And that's been with a solid 2 hours every week, but it's only 2 hours. No matter what happens, it's only 2 hours, you know? That's the hard that's the hard send-off point, right? And doing that kind of thing... Oh, I didn't read that. Yeah, I'm freezing that. Doing that kind of thing, I think, has been a huge help for me. Because now I'm in a situation where... I feel like I for one, read all of the, obviously the things I've talked about before. I read all of the blimmin', what's the word? I read all of the dialogue, which I didn't normally always do. But I think the major thing that gets me is that I'm more invested in the story, and those tiny bits of interaction I get occasionally with people in my chat is like also occasionally having a friend who jumps in to have a look at what you're doing, you know? Something I've just never come across before, never had happen before, you know? I think we're gonna hold for now. Do we hold? I don't really care for this. I can get both of these next turn. I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun doing that. A lot of fun. And because of it, I've gained a new appreciation for them. I'm interested to see, though, whether, if or when I start something that I've already played before, whether I'd have that same sort of interaction. Whether it's just limited to, just I happen to have chosen 2 really good games for my Wednesday streams. Or whether there's more to it. Ooh! Do I put them all on one guy? I kind of want to do that. Solid 17-17, Wind Fury, Divine Shield, Taunt. Next turn, this will be 4, and this will be 7, which means I instantly can get something from the new tavern, which is notable. But yeah, I don't know. I've been feeling really chilled and happy about the Wednesday streams. The Friday streams, yeah, it's always 50-50. Now, though, with FF14, I'm having a really chill time. Literally, the scariest part of FF14 at the moment is the fact that it will end soon, you know? I'm just sitting here going, oh, I'm having a load of fun with this. I don't want it to end, knowing, sadly, that it will end. But yeah, I'm having so much fun with it, and it's weird because I keep talking to my friend who's completed it, and my impression is constantly, oh no, it feels like from my conversation with them that I'm not mine isn't the popular opinion, and instantly when I hear it's not the popular opinion, my head goes, oh, you're only choosing it because it's not the popular opinion. Because I do have that mentality, and I've talked about it before, but I have that... I keep calling it the hipster mentality, but I'm not really sure what you would class it as. But I do have that mentality. And so... I'm always wondering, oh, is that what's happening? But, I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with Warclamat. It reminds me so much of old school, like when I was a lot younger in high school, reading Naruto, early One Piece, you know, that kind of style of anime. So it's like, it's just one of those things where I just see a plucky young adventurer, the kind of thing that you would probably get from the main character of an average RPG, right? I'm getting that from Warclamat. I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, this is interesting. This is fun. Seeing the character growth um in the actual like story reminds me a lot of Alphino in Heaven's Ward, where you saw him as this sort of like good intentioned but slightly arrogant and naive about the surrounding world, having that sort of like rich kid sort of sheltered view on the world. And then you sort of come in, you tell him how it is, you go on this adventure with him that instantly goes wrong. Like, he starts off as this just kid, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna do great, and then instantly you become a wanted criminal. And it's like, this is the kind of thing where it's like he doesn't expect it. It's something that doesn't go exactly his way, and then his progress and him learning from these people, the person who he considered objectively an enemy in Iceheart, and learning from them. You see a lot of what he does in Dawn's Veil, actually, now that I think about it more. It's actually quite interesting the more I talk about it. But yeah, I find myself liking more and more the sort of story of it. It's not an incredibly complex one, I will say that. There is, as much as I have complaints about Shadowbringers and Endwalker, I believe there is more of a story there, especially Emmett Selk. Emmett Selk had a bit more of an interesting story, and you learning about him and the Ascian / Hydaelyn sort of stuff was an interesting sort of like twist on the whole thing, and it was fun to like listen to and go be in. And then Endwalker, it's iffy, you know. I don't particularly rate a lot of things in Endwalker. I found that the main villain I just didn't care about. It's like, oh, I'm this being that is entropy incarnate, and I'm just sitting there going, this doesn't interest me. Bringing back Xenos would have been more interesting, because at least I had history with this person. With it being the end of a blimmin' season arc, my head immediately goes to, oh, the big bad. I'm thinking like, oh, it has to have some sort of connection with the overarching story in some way, surely. And for it then to be kind of not really, like, I don't know, it didn't immediately catch my eye as being something incredibly interesting. And I know that that's a bit of a sacrilegious thing to say, but I'm being honest. That'll be 8, that'll be... yeah, I'll wait a turn. But yeah, I've been having a load of fun with it. I think it's because I'm so used to, especially MMOs, after you get past the initial bit, you never go back down to that level. So obviously in stories, in like RPGs and stuff, you're fighting like giant rats in somebody's basement, and you keep leveling up, and then you go for, oh, it's like bandits. Oh, look, it's evil knights. Oh, look, it's evil, evil demons. Oh, look, it's, the Demon King, and then that's the end, right? But once you've hit that point in an MMO where you got onto like, oh, you're fighting the Demon King, it doesn't just end there and you go into a different MMO. You go into a different like different story. It's like, oh no, they got to continue up, and so it's like it never gets lower than the Demon King. It just keeps going up and up, or stays flat, right? And so the sort of idea of like, oh, you're still the same character from FF14. Never mind, actually, I forgot to get the extra gold. You're still the same character from FF14. We'll keep you for now because we're gonna get this person and this. We're gonna get everything. But yeah, like, you're still the same character. And you haven't done that bullshit thing of losing... Actually, I'm gonna do this. You haven't done that bullshit thing of like, oh no, something came along and it's made you lose every single bit of your power. Instead, it's like, oh no, you have all your power. It's just you're not the main character. The main character of the story is Wooklamat, and you are playing the old, like, veteran that's helping this person along. And when it gets to the point where it's getting properly bad, that's when you step in and you go, I'm gonna have to deal with this, you know? That sort of idea sounds so interesting to me. It sounds such like a unique idea that I don't think has been really done before. And so when I see that kind of stuff, I'm just like, oh, this is actually interesting, you know? Sure, I'm not the main like character that's killing everything, but you're doing most of the work, and it's just that the main character is somebody else. I know it hasn't done well, and I know it's sort of like been whether because of the actual expansion itself, or it also happened to be coincidentally at the same time. It has sort of been at the same time as there being a bit of a drop off in FF14. I think because not only did WoW stop making like a semi decent expansion, they also we'll get this. We'll get this. And then we'll get... Ooh, which one do we get next? If we move you to here and we get this. This may be a mistake, but it's a mistake I'm willing to make. I don't know, we'll move him to here for now. But yeah, like, I'm just sitting here going, like, I've been having a lot of fun with it, and although I understand the complaints that I've seen about, I don't know all the complaints, and I don't know all the story yet, so I can't make a full thing about it, but I just don't think it's been a problem for me. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. It's... As I said, I'm having a lot of fun with that. I'm debating whether after the story we do like a very chill sort of Friday stream where we collect all the aetherites. You know, we just go around making sure I get flying in all the areas. And then maybe if we finish that and we still have time, doing the rest of the patch quests. Because from what I've been seeing in like sneak preview bits of like the new patch quests, it actually seems like a pretty interesting concept to me. But hey, I could be completely wrong. But I like the idea of knowing that I've finished this, I've completed it, there's nothing more in the game, and I can officially go, oh, the subscription is done, you know? Which, I don't know, It's weighing on my mind, and I keep pushing it back because I'm just like, I've got time, you know. The game's not even close to being over, and then I actually think about it for a second, and I'm like, oh, it kind of is getting closer and closer. Yeah, every stream I do, it gets closer and closer and closer. I think we do this, then we upgrade our tavern. For better or for worse. I'm probably dying here if I'm being completely honest. To this Naga build. Because this part of the sort of thing I was doing has not worked out the way I want it to. I don't think I should have given this guy Wind Fury, is what I'm thinking. Because if I didn't give him Wind Fury, then he would attack once. He guarantee wouldn't die because he, you know, he has a divine shield. And then this would attack, probably die. Then this would get +2, well, get +4 attack and its divine shield back. So it could go in for another hit. And depending on how these die, like, it'll just keep coming back, you know, it'll keep getting the divine shield. I don't think I'm winning this. Although, I think I could have won this if that didn't have Wind Fury. As much as I was saying before, because that I would be getting like at least another 2 attacks with it. That's another like 16 damage, then another 18 damage that I didn't get there. Boom. Okay, I think we're good because we're fighting the free one. If we lose to, I mean, we were never going to win. If I'm being honest, I don't think we'll ever win anyway, but, you know, this Mecha Juraxis one generally isn't good. Because it's like, oh, you get Wind Fury, oh, you get Torn. It's like, I already normally have that, you know? I just don't rate it. I don't really rate many of the mech sort of like end game things, except for I guess the one that's like it has magnetism, and it's like for every one you've magnetized, this gets like +2/+2 to permanently or whatever. I'm so glad I found this playlist because it's just like a 10-hour playlist that I can slowly go through, and when I get back to the beginning, you know, it's been about a month because I only use it on this stream. And this is a once a week stream. So once I get back to the beginning, I'm just like, oh, cool, these are things that I vaguely remember, but not really, you know? I don't really understand the point of why this is also an elemental. I understand the dual type ones to make it interesting, but I don't understand why elemental people would want this. I guess it is generally good. You know, it's just generally just getting extra +5/+5 on tier 3 is probably good enough. I love this boy. I'm sure they'll get rid of him eventually because he is a pretty old boy now in terms of battlegrounds. But I love him. I love just being able to get tiny bits of extra gold, even if the extra gold is it's weird. I like getting extra gold, but I don't like pirates. Which I think is a bit weird, but it's true. I think it's the fact that I like having it just passively, and they're like leveraging the fact they can get extra gold. I think we'll give you just an extra 10 health. I like this boy because he just kills off low-level things. There, get him up to a similar stat. These guys are just here because they, they exist. But this dude is surprisingly effective, even later on. Because if it can knock out a divine shield, that's huge, right? But I've been looking around for. Well, I haven't been looking around too much, but I've been like talking about it with my friends. The idea of just finding a decent sort of sci-fi TTRPG to sort of get into. Just because the idea of being on a spaceship and being able to explore from planet to planet, and then having missions on said planets, and then maybe even having ship battles occasionally. Seems like it's like the best of both worlds between what I always talk about as wanting, which is the sort of the base that grows with you, or the community that grows with you in the campaign, and obviously being able to travel a bit, because the limit of having a base that grows with you, kind of that whole thing, is that it's like, well, cool, the base grows with you, but you can't move from this area now. You're stuck in this area. And so you don't want to do that constantly. You want to be able to move around into new and interesting areas to keep it fun for everybody. And so like it always feels like a decent middle ground to have the spaceship in like a sci-fi setting. You can't really do it in a fantasy setting unless you want to make like a Hal's Moving Blimmin' Fortress or whatever the thing is. Which I mean is not a bad idea, but it is a bit out there. Whereas a spaceship is not a bit out there. It's. Are they swearing in this? I can't figure it out. We have to take this. As much as I want both of these, we have to take that. And we have to put it on our strongest unit. Which, actually, we're just going to even out these people. And then give this like a... +2/+1 on everything is actually better in the long run. I don't like songs that do those clicks, if I'm being honest. I hope that's not showing on stream. No, it's not. Okay, cool. How do I look on stream, actually? Yeah, I look fine. Boom, boom, boom. Bum, ba, doom, boom, 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 bum. And I haven't gone through a huge amount of looking yet, but I will say this. We're losing here because he's got a much better version of the build I'm doing right now. I will say this. Before, when I've looked at this, it's really been like Stars Without Numbers, and then like Starfinder, obviously, which is more likely now, but still pretty unlikely. And then that's sort of it in terms of front runners of like not franchise specific. You want to hear one of my weird hot takes? Because I was thinking about this the other day, and I actually feel like the more I thought about it, the more I actually sort of agreed with myself in what I was saying. I kind of think I prefer the idea of XP as like a way of tracking when you level up, as opposed to what is generally considered the standard at the moment, which is milestone. The reason why I'm saying this is because that might actually be quite useful. Is because I've been playing through Pathfinder, as I've talked about before, the sort of like the beginners sort of I guess sort of mega dungeon module set in Atara, the Ghoul Light, or I forget what it's called, the Ghost Light. I think it's the Ghoul Light. And I've been playing a lot of that, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, we kept getting XP in the system because that's how they've made it in the game, right? And we kept playing through it, and the more that I thought about it, and the more I played with the system, the more I actually appreciated looking at that bar and knowing that every time that I complete a session, no matter what we're doing, if we're doing diplomatic, if we're doing, if we're doing battle stuff, because I want to be honest here. I don't think that just XP where you only get it for killing monsters is, or if it's when it's more effective to kill monsters to gain XP. Obviously, I don't consider that to be good. But what I am talking about when I'm saying, like, I think it's better, is I'm talking, like... just XP where you get it for narrative stuff, you get it for monster, you get it for fighting monsters, you get it for completing story beats effectively. And so it could still work in a political environment, like a political based arc or something. And this is my thinking at the very least. But the reason I say I think it's better is because when I was talking about that bar getting closer and closer, it felt like even if I had a session where, like, we dealt with one monster, sure, but like it didn't feel like we did metric tons of stuff, right? In those situations where I'm having those thoughts, when I see that bar tick up, I'm like, well, oh, we have to pivot then. We have to pivot to these. Does this work? No. Okay, so we do this. We do this. We do this. We do this. And we do this. That's pretty good. I don't think these guys have battle cries, so this might be the literal worst thing I could have done. But I guess these dudes technically have battle cries, but I'm not really going into these. Anyway, I think that it at least for me, knowing that I can see a tangible way in which I'm like, oh, I am progressing, because I can see I can see the thing go up. I know I'm progressing, and I'm actually doing stuff. Has made me, I think, appreciate the sessions a lot more, and sort of have. Maybe there's some irony in me saying this, but... What? Why did I... Oh, right, yeah, because 3 basic maths, come on. I think it's made me appreciate what was happening a lot more, because I was sitting here and just going like, oh, no, you have done something. Of course you've done something. You've helped here. Look, the number's gone up. You know, it's a tangible thing. And maybe it is my autism playing in there, where I'm never, or maybe this is just my general nervousness, because maybe it's that kind of thing of just like I never know if we're contributing or if we're doing the right thing. I'm always second guessing that. But I was sitting there just going like, I don't know, I kind of like this. I kind of like the tangible thing here of, oh, yeah, you're doing well. Don't worry about that. You know you're doing well because look, numbers going up. you know, the simple thing that people do of like, number go up so I feel good. You know, that kind of thing. It was sort of like that in the sense of like, I see that I've gained 100 XP and I'm like, oh look, we're contributing, we're doing stuff. But hey, maybe I'll come round to that because this is the first time I've used any form of XP system. And everybody that's like big in the D&D sphere, and literally everybody I watch and everyone who does TTRPGs, frankly, does a form of, you know, there being you hitting a story point, a milestone. That's the word I'm trying to think of. But I don't know. Increasingly I'm finding myself going, oh, maybe this will be fine. Maybe people have just been overreacting a bit to it, and maybe there was just some changes that obviously need to be done that makes it so it doesn't specialize. It doesn't make you always, if you want to be optimal, have to fight everything. But I don't think it's to the point where it's like, this is horrendous. Take this one. Your leftmost death rattle. This person's gonna die before you get that death rattle. No, I know you want to do that, but I don't want to do that. This taunt is actually relatively useful. If we put it on that, and then we do this again. Put one on you. We just want to keep you alive so that you get more of the health. Now these are beasts. We do this. So my plan is, hopefully, the beetle survives long enough for the parrots to get another trigger of it and get us another 6/6. I don't think that'll happen, but only death rattle we have. And it says the leftmost. Oh, well, actually, no, maybe we want it there. Maybe it works. Because it's not saying left of this. It says your leftmost death rattle, right? This is my leftmost death rattle. I hope my reading comprehension works for this. Does he also have the thing I have? No, he has the weird swappy thing that I don't think I'd ever take. Because I wouldn't think of myself as smart enough to use it well. Because I'm the kind of person that, like, gets all their units, then thinks about what they should be doing. You know, after the fact. God, tell you what, such a good change in battlegrounds, turning poisonous into venomous. So it's only the first instance that does damage. It's a little thing, but I really like that. It means not everybody's focusing poison at all times, you know? Okay, I think it's time to start getting rid of these. I hate to do this to you, but it's time. We're not going Nagas, even though you're kind of beasts if you think about it. And it's a very loose definition of what a beast is. But that's beside the point. You know what I found weird? Is that somebody surprisingly has followed me when I wasn't streaming, I think. Sunday, Saturday, Friday. No, they must have done it Friday. I didn't see them at the very least. Oh, now I feel bad. Maybe I missed their notification. God, I hope that's not true. I do really... I want to be good at catching these kinds of things, honestly. Because, I mean, that's the bare minimum you should do as a blimmin' streamer, is thank the people that decide to, you know, blimmin' decide to go with you, as opposed to the multiple of other people that are, you know, obviously more skilled at doing this than you are. I think that's something that I'm never going to be like haughty about, you know? It's like they've chosen you, you should at least thank them. Especially when you're playing something where you can easily pause and it's not like you're stuck on a time limit kind of thing. I think that's one of the things that gets me with this. It's like... if it was a game where, like, it's incredibly, like... whenever you summon a minion... if you rightmost minion +1/+1. Sure. Problem with this is now that we're in a situation where we don't have space. That's kind of what this one does, except better. But you can't repeatedly click it. So it's actually worse for me, weirdly. I think you got to do that then. Or maybe like this. Like this. I think that's the way you do it. I think am I a genius? I think I might be a genius. I'm of course kidding. I don't actually think I'm a genius in any capacity, obviously. That build looks surprisingly similar. Nope, I am actually smart in what I was doing there. Because the thing that gets summoned then is the priority for what next gets the attack off. Oh, what a shame. Even with my genius, I think it's just going to lose to that turtle. Luckily, we knocked him down only to taking 3 damage, though. Well, 6 damage, obviously. I mean, how can I compare with the dude who's winning? We'll take this. What do I want to sell? I guess nothing? Choose one. Is that a battle cry? I sure as hell hope it's a battle cry. We'll pick both of these up. Trigger this person's battle cry. So my hope is that I can get a second turtle. And I can hopefully make it so that that frees up a place where I can then, I guess, play this, put it on this. When it's on that, maybe I don't need this bird, buddy. You know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Whether it comes back to bite me is a whole other thing, but I'm sure it won't. To me, that seems better. That seems better. Because now it gets the +1. Genius. So now it does that. It gets one of those. You kill that. Yeah, sure. With your starship piece. That's what I wanted. That's an extra permanent buff. See, this says permanently, right? But I swear this got buffs last time, and then it went back to being a 1-0. Oh, well, I stand corrected. Okay, that's done. Let's just do this. No, let's just do this. Ooh. Ooh, we want that guy. If we can. Gotta give the battle cry to this boy. I don't think we'll ever get a battle cry that is better than his, which probably means that this loses its use now, because getting +1 every turn from this is not worth. Like, realistically, we should probably replace it with this, even though we're not getting the constant buff from this one. We're still getting this buff, and we're getting 3 of them. I mean, is it... They're more than a 7/7 now, so is it worth getting rid of the Sly Raptor? Is that insane? If we do this, we get rid of this, we move this over to here, we put down this thing. So now, here's my logic. This dies. This gets me an 11/12. This does its thing, and we'll get one of these 2 skittering things. These 2 skittering things are strictly better versions of this Death Rattle, because they also give the +1/+2. And then if we can get the Nest Swarmer here, then we can start just buff. Well, I mean, they won't be a huge buff, but it'll be a buff. That's if we don't die here, which is very possible. Actually, I don't think it is possible, because I don't think we're not in the final 4, so it won't... It'll cap us at 15 damage. Because I think that's what they say is the thing. I do like how we had tech for that Hydra. The tech being that we made sure that this had reborn. It didn't help in the end of the... It didn't help at the end of the day, but it was pretty useful to get in the mindset of doing, you know? I mean, we're dead either way, so we may as well take this. I don't think that's worth... Move him, it's a minion, either sets or a friendly. I mean, we may as well do this. It's something. Give ourselves an extra thing. I should have actually used that before. I mean, I'd love to get that next turn. Is it now just to the point where we should put one of these here? Get rid of him and put him here? So, like, this is technically means we don't get a repeated buff. But if we survive this turn, I'll be honestly fine. Now, this Battlecry one actually is significantly weaker than I thought, because Spellcraft I don't think is Battlecry. Choose Wands don't seem to be considered Battlecry because they don't have that in the wording. And a lot of stuff that I thought was Battlecries is just a passive ability of just like, you get this every turn. You know, not nearly as good as I initially thought. But I will say that these special event things, I do prefer them over trinkets. The trinket idea was fun in concept. I just found myself not being as interested in a lot of them, and I was just sort of always picking the one that was like specific to whatever faction I was playing. Oh, this is increasingly becoming a problem. Nope, now it's fine. We got 2 of them out of it. They're not to the level as these guys, sadly. So I do think we lose. But it is... We did lose to a beast build, and I'm glad that a beast build is likely to win. You know? But each one of their beetles can take 2 of my beetles. And in some cases, maybe even 3. I miss adventures in this game. I know they weren't selling well and they were a lot of work, but I did like them as a concept. And to see them gone was a bit of a sad thing, you know? Right. What do we want to go with this time? What's the thing? You only need 2 copies to make a double instead of a triple and get a gold coin. I love this one. I love getting big minion that we can't normally get. By the way, because it's on my mind now. MAF, if you are watching this one, thank you for the follow 3 days ago when I was playing MF14. Just wanted to get that out there. Instead of a triple reward, get a gold coin. That is so much worse. I just realised. I mean, getting the golden form is normally the reason why you're going for the triples anyway, but... You know, it's normally the reason you're doing the whole thing, but still. Ooh, let's have this. I could go mechs, dragons, or demons. Well, there's a mech there. But this isn't a game-breaking thing. But neither of these are really a game-breaking thing. So we'll pick this boy. I have no idea who this character is. I'm not up on the World of Warcraft lore. And this might be, like, specific to Hearthstone lore as well. Because there is that kind of thing. There's a couple of characters that were added in Hearthstone that I don't think exist in World of Warcraft. Which I do like a couple of them. Which it's kind of a shame they haven't transferred them over. I like the idea of like the new generation of heroes, you know, that kind of trope. It has weight to it, in my opinion. I know I probably shouldn't have done that, but look at that. I now have a 5-2 with Divine Shield and Taunt. And I have to use all my money effectively because I want to get to this as soon as I freaking can. And if it means that, sure, next time I hit that refresh button I hit this, and then I can't do anything with the 2 money I have left. But I have this to get rid of. Like, I don't really care about this. I'd love to get a double of this and then put the golden version onto this guy. But if I don't get to do that, I don't get to do that, you know? Boom. I knew it would be worth it. I knew it guaranteed my win. Lose all that armor. Bam. Yeah, okay. Getting more health on this boy's never bad. I never know if to go for these. They never seem like they're useful. If there was like a later thing that was like summon 5 of them, I'd be like, oh god, this is broken, I want it, you know? Let's see, I'll have 6 next, so I'll buy this. Put it on this boy. Buy... Hit refresh, because I still have the spare money that is this boy. Hope to get a mech. If I don't get a mech, I cry. On stream. In front of everybody. It's just what's gonna happen. Why am I not putting this guy first? I don't think that would have changed that at all. In fact, I know it wouldn't have. But still. In fact, would it? Am I an idiot? Would that have absolutely changed something? I'll take this boy to give myself more attack. Next turn, I have 7, they have 5. So I'll buy this. There's no point in buying it. There's no point in buying it, Jack. There's no point in buying it. You don't need Wind Fury on your blimmin' Annoyer bot. You know, recently I started just taking a break at about 12 o'clock. Just going on a walk at work, up and down, just this little bit of an overflow car park that is next to our... is where we park all our cars. But just having that little walk back and forth for 10 minutes, it's literally just 10 minutes. I'm supposed to have a 15-minute break, but I do it in 10 minutes so that I can get back if need be. Fine. We're doing this. You've tempted me, game. You tempted me. You got me. It's not a temporary coin, is it? No, it just looks like a temporary coin. And I've just been doing that walk back and forth for 10 minutes, just in the open, the nice weather and nature, just sort of like thinking to myself, and it's been such a change, such a better like mindset. To just take a step away from the computer just for like 10 minutes, have a little walk around. Most of the time, not even really think of anything, just generally be just walking up and down, and I don't know what is so good about it, but it just feels good. I'm constantly just sitting there going like, this is great. I'm just sitting here having a great fun time. And I honestly, because this has been a thing for so long that I could have technically done, I'm just here regretting never doing it, you know? Because I could have done... I've been at that job for like 5 years now, and I could have done that from the very, very start. It was in the contract. I just had this sort of false sense of like, oh, they've hired me, so I should spend every waking moment doing everything I blimmin' can to make this company, you know, as much as I can, you know, do as much work as I can for them because they've hired me. Partly because I think it was my first job and I didn't really realise that you should take those breaks. Because actually, if you take those breaks and you relax yourself, you are a lot more efficient at your job, and you're in a situation then where you're in a situation there when you can actually work a lot more. Like, you can do a lot more work in a shorter amount of time. It's like those studies that I mean, I still don't 100% trust, but say that like people who have half days on Fridays actually do more work because they are like a lot more charged up from the weekend to then do work. And they said a similar thing for like just having Fridays off and doing a 4-day week. They actually do more work in the 4-day week than they do in the 5-day. And there is a part of me that I guess the cynic in me sort of goes, yeah, but were they doing that because they were like, we're getting a 4-day week, we must make this look as good as possible, because if we make this look good, maybe they'll continue the 4-day week. You know, that kind of idea of like, yeah, but how much of it was them just knowing that if they did well here, they're very likely to get another 4-day week thing. Maybe I'm being needlessly pessimistic there, but if I'm in a situation where they're trying out using something that's incredibly good for me, like say they were like, we're trying out this new thing where if you get paid more, we're trying to figure out if that means you do more work. You know for a fact that what I'm going to be doing is a metric ton of work after after I get paid more to make it look like, yes, if you pay us more, we'll do more work. You know what I didn't realize until I started working? That there's a whole sort of, I don't want to say species because obviously we're all human, but there's a whole sort of set of people who are so into the sort of like business mindset where they've just learned what you're supposed to say in response to what people say. Where like there's somebody who works in my HR department who every time you tell her something, she acts like it's the end of the world and you should have told her immediately because like she'll get onto this as soon as possible kind of thing. But then you realize very quickly in the job, you're like, oh, that's good. They actually get to work on this thing that I brought up. I'm glad. It shows that they're a company that actually cares. But then you actually look at it and you go, hold on a second. I told them this ages ago. Absolutely blimmin' ages ago. And nothing's come of it. Because in actuality what's happening is she's just saying that exact thing that they've been taught over and over and over and over again is the thing you say to is the thing you say when somebody says that, and they don't actually mean it. They don't actually like care about you because you're in a whole other level. If you were the boss, maybe they'd care. You know, if you in a position where they can't replace you, maybe they'd care. But when you're in a position where they know that they can replace you at the drop of the hat and you've got literally no leverage because, you know, your job is something that they think anyone can do to the level you're doing it. They're just saying stuff as like a casual conversation thing that'll never come up again. And a lot of the things you say will also just be dismissed. I'm sure I mentioned this when it was a more recent story, but I really noticed this when I was talking with my boss. And my boss was talking about like, oh god, we really need to get more of this thing. And for the longest time, I had been bringing up casually to middle management, to my colleagues, that hey, here's a way we could do it. And my colleagues who listened to me effectively didn't want to do it, and so were dismissive of the thing. And And the middle management didn't really even acknowledge that I was what I was saying. And it got to this point where I guess halfway through this whole debacle, this thing is brought up again. Completely not me saying it, but completely somebody else brings it up, and the boss literally comes around and is like, "Guys, you've got to think outside the box. I wouldn't have to have done all this work if you guys had just thought of this thing." And I'm just there going like, I just have to smile and nod because he's the boss, but god damn it, this isn't fair. I came up with that. I said that to multiple people over multiple months, and it just isn't being acknowledged because they don't listen to it, you know? I had in fact told the boss this, you know? It's a sad thing, but like it's also one of those things where I know that they're right and they have got a chokehold on me because I'm really a big fan of routine, and the routine of working at this place is what I've grown to love. And so 100% I'm probably not going to be looking for other places more than the casual look I always seem to do. And a lot of places are giving a similar salary in the local area. And you know, there's so many good things that is part of this job where the people are, you know, the people I work with are always great. So I don't really want to look anywhere else. And because they know that that's a thing, they have no incentive to try and, you know, keep me there because they don't need to. It's a sad thing. Why am I finding no mechs that aren't magnetic or produce a magnetic thing? I just need something to put this on though. I'll get a bonus from having, you know, gaining Reborn, Divine Shield, Taunt, and Wind Fury. Like that little bomb guy. Or even just, I'll even take the guy who inherently has Divine Shield and gets +2 attack every time you summon something. Any of those. You know what I miss? I miss the one. I think it came in the same expansion as this guy. Where it was just a passive like, your creatures get +2/+2 for every magnetic creature that they have on them. It's similar to that 6-star creature, except it was a passive every turn kind of thing. I just love that guy. I just wish they had kept him. He made the mech build really, really fun. Whereas now the mech build is weird. Because, like, I'm not an expert in this, by the way. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt. But it seems like the meta for mechs is either you go the route I normally go, which is heavy magnetic. Effectively, every one of your creatures has Divine Shield, Taunt, Wind Fury. Honestly, it wouldn't even be surprising for them to have Reborn as well. And it's just like you pump up the stats with constant magnetic bonuses. Probably trying to get a couple of those 6-star buffs to magnetic stuff. But it's so easy to get Wind Fury, it's so easy to get Taunt, it's so easy to get Divine Shield and as the mechs, so you're probably going to have that on almost every one of your creatures. But the only other build that seems semi-viable is the sort of beast-style summon build. But the problem with that build is, I say it's viable. It's not that viable. It feels like there's only 2 pieces of it. There's the horse that you constantly turns into more and more units, and then there's the ninja bot, this boy. But I don't want that boy, I want this boy. Ooh, that's good. That's huge. That's going to be getting me magnetics. We do this, we do this. Okay, so we're probably going to lose again, but we won't die because we've got 21 health and I think max is 15 until we're the final 4. So we'll lose to this probably superior mech builds because it'd be very unlikely that this person's not gone mechs, bearing in mind that this is a passive that specifically talks about mechs. Um, but I know it's late, but we technically scale with this. Because every turn now, we're getting minimum 2 magnetic mechs. Realistically, we're probably getting... We could be getting 4 on average. Because this attacks once, breaks the Divine Shield, attacks again. It could die. If it doesn't die, you get another attack off with it, and then it probably dies. Then it reborns, and maybe it gets another attack off. You could get 4. Especially if we're going heavy summons, maybe you can just pick off a summon with every hit. That is like a bit more of a, maybe like a 1-2, maybe even a 5-5, you know? Do you ever feel like, but getting off completely off topic, do you ever feel like whatever sort of franchise you get into, it always feels like you've gotten into it at the worst point where it's slowly degrading? I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about how, like, a lot of the things that I really like, D&D, for example, blimmin', when I got into WWE, it happened to be back when it was, like, what most people consider to be the worst time in the WWE history. All these kinds of little things like that, where it's like, God, do I just have bad luck with this kind of thing? Or is it just that, like, is this just what happens? And I'm only taking the situations where it is bad into account, when in actuality it doesn't happen that often. But it just feels like it happens a lot, where it's like, I feel like it's happening with D&D. I feel like it's happening with Warhammer at the moment. To name a few, where I've sort of gotten really into it at just the point in which people are starting to go, we should try other stuff. This isn't that great. Or maybe I've just gotten into the sort of the part of it that just everybody's complaining at the moment. Maybe just everybody complains. That's sort of something I haven't really thought about. Is like, maybe just everybody just complains a lot. Maybe we're natural complainers. I know, for example, the people who live in the UK, complaining's like a national sport at this point. It's like, we complain a lot. We're probably never going to do anything about it, but we complain a lot. Do you reckon this Annoyo bot this Annoyo toy, or Annoyo module? Do you reckon I put this on the one that already has taunt, or the bomb guy? I'm honestly in two minds about it. Because on one hand, I'm like, no, that was unlucky. On one hand, I'm like, well, you get more out of, like, it's gaining taunt and blimmin' divine shield out of it. But on the other hand, it's like, do you even want that thing to have taunt and divine shield? Does that gain you anything? I guess it does. I guess it means that it's likely to... It's likely to die earlier on and maybe get redone by this. I guess my answer can be both. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get this. We're gonna do this. We'll do this. I was just about to sack, like, that thing. And then I was like, oh, yeah. Mainly because it showed me. I can just blimmin'... It's fine either way, because I've got this. We'll put this on you. We'll put this on you. Do I start using this money? I'll use one just to see if there's anything decent. There was. We're spending all of our money to get it. In fact, boom, minions in the tavern. Have a bonus. Boom. If I survive this round, and I think there's a good chance, because it says summon the first 4 that died, which will just be everything. Ooh, is it going to be 2 of them? Is it not going to be this guy? Maybe I should move him to here. Because ideally, I want like as many of these as I can get. Maybe I should have put this at the front. Well, no, you wouldn't want it to be in the front because you'd want the one that gives me a magnetic to always go first. Oh, well, that's freaking annoying. That actually may have cooked me. What a shame. And that wasn't even just like just bad luck. That was horrendous luck. Yeah, just exact lethal. Ah, I was scaling so well. At least it felt like I was going to scale so well. It was just that early bit where I just didn't get any minions other than an Oyobot to a magnetic to. I always wonder if it's maybe worth just using the magnetic ability on another magnetic creature. Because, like, what am I gaining from an Oyobot that I don't get from putting just any magnetic creature and putting, like, the Anoyo module on it? Like, it just then becomes, well, it's exactly the same as an Oyobot. Ooh. After you buy 20 tiers worth of, you get a triple reward. Nah, I like this guy, because it gives me a lot more time to work. You know what I don't ever really play? Undead. And the reason why I don't play Undead is not because I don't like them. It's because the death, the whole, like, all the death rattles, it's the same reason why beasts are a little bit of a problem for me. The stacking of the death rattles so that you have enough space to summon the units, but you also have enough dudes who buff you when you summon units, is something that always gets a bit tricky for me. Look, I'm a monkey at heart, in the sense of, like, number go up, I'm happy. Is that a cat there? Is that something else? God, it really looked like there was a cat there. But it wasn't. Don't worry about it. I'm going crazy. That one's a liability, but it's funnier. Roll. Oh, it doesn't count because I get it at the start of the turn this turn. Ah, boo. This is going to make us go insane. These kinds of rewards seem like they'd be insane. I mean, I could have a golden dozy whelp at the moment. That's a 0-8 that gets +2 attack every turn. Well, every time it gets attacked. I mean, the others wouldn't get affected by that at all, really, but... You know what, actually, I think this needs to go up a bit. Boom. See, this makes me wonder if maybe I should have been going... Oh, it's the one I hate. That doesn't work. Whenever you buy a tavern spell that costs 3 and more, get an extra copy. You sell a minion, give it stats to a minion in it. This is useless. As I'm not planning on selling a minion. I like how that's obviously Kel'Thuzad. They just want to do, they're just showing that off. Boom, boom. You know, I keep seeing all this stuff about the Minecraft movie. I wonder if it's the problem that people are going to have with the Minecraft movie is everyone expects it to be horrendously bad. But in actuality, it's just going to be exactly average. That's my thinking. People are going to go into it and go, oh, I can't wait for this absolute train wreck. And then they're going to actually watch the thing and they're going to go, hold on a second. This is just exactly average. You know, it's not bad. It's not good. Kind of like the Mario movie. Kind of like a lot of things that Jack Black's in. You know, is that too weird of a potential thing? Yeah, I think I've already lost this because I'm not really understanding how to use all of these quest rewards the best way. Do I get one? Okay, I do get one before I disappear. Extra copy of it? Oh! Give me an elemental. An elemental. None of these are elementals. I guess we're getting 2 of these boys. And then this is getting a buff. Maybe I'm going undead? I know I said I wouldn't go undead. But like, I don't know what I'm doing at the moment. I guess I've put too many buffs on this guy at the moment. At least I can use this on this, then tavern tier up. Or probably, just in case, I'll buy this, then I'll tavern tier up, then I'll use it, just so that I can maybe get the next tavern tier up creatures. But I really think I'm behind the ball at the moment. I just didn't have a early game idea of what I was going. And it's coming back to bite me now. Wow, it didn't result in a loss there. Spin the wheel? Sure, we'll spin a wheel. Okay, that's actually really good. That's actually borderline the best thing that we could get. Because now we have 2 party elementals. And it's sort of solidified what we're going. We're going elementals. These guys are here just to do pure damages at the moment. And frankly, if we get that weird abomination one again, we're we're kind of screwed. Because if they turn any of these 1410 stuff onto anyone else that isn't this guy, then because we're planning on selling this thing. Blimmin' I hardly know over here. You know, I clicked that button that was like a beta thing that's supposed to help you. And instantly it's just like, oh yeah, your bit rate's great. So it must be doing something, right? I don't know what, like, quality it's putting my, Oh, it's 720. 720's fine. I'm not the best of the best, but I've never expected to be at the best of the best. Ooh. How did they get this boy already? I call, shenanigans here. This boy is a 6-star. I am on like tier 4. Tier 3. Don't absorb all my onions. Just give me a bunch of cards. Give me all these. Oh. I mean, that's good. Boop. Give 3 random minions +1/+1. We're gonna buy you. We're gonna buy you. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Perfect. So what we're gonna do is very simple right now, okay? We're gonna play this. We're gonna play this. We're gonna sell this. We're gonna sell this. We're gonna sell this. We're gonna buy this boy. We're gonna do this. We're gonna sell this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. The fact that that's not just you getting the ability to do that normally is a bit weird. Next turn, this will be a 6. That'll be a 9. We can buy this boy and then hit that button. I think we're doing okay here. We're thinking through our turns. That's a rarity for me. I normally play this to turn my brain off. You know, I had 2 ideas on what I was going to play today. I was either going to play more Pokemon Neon Guardians, but it would have been a bit weird because you wouldn't have known the story. It would have just been... You wouldn't have known the story. It would have just been me going through a half of a story without you knowing. And then my second suggestion was going to be like playing through playing some more Monster Train. But the thing is, I wouldn't have any of the DLCs that people would probably be assuming I have at the moment. I don't have any sort of build in that game that isn't just one build. I play the variant Green Boys, to whom their whole shtick is they have one specific ability that's like, every time you incant, get +1 attack. And then they have another thing that's you get 3 free, and with that ability you also get 3 free thorns, and these thorns are like 0 damage. So 0 mana, 10 damage to the front row minion. You draw 1 extra card next turn. And so you're just like, attack, attack, attack. You draw more cards next turn. You just keep incanting, and my build is all incant because the blue faction is also just all incants as well. And by the way, incant is every time you cast a spell, something happens. But I go full incant buff, so every time you cast a spell, you get both my main dude and oh, that's a shame. Both my main dude and my what's the word? My main dude and all of my surrounding dudes get buffs in some variety. Whether that's incanting, you can get upgrades to your minions that is like incants get 2 armor kind of thing. What, golden forever? Yeah, I mean, I'll try that to see if I can get 2 goldens for this. Well, frankly, I think I'm just gonna start using this boy, because it's at least something. If you play an elemental, do a buff to all of the elementals. Simple, but effective. And I never would have gotten to you and had enough mana if it wasn't for you, so I appreciate that, little boy. Or, I guess, Amorphous Blob that doesn't really have a gender, because they're elemental living incarnates of certain elements. Sorry, I keep looking. I keep looking at blimmin' my Discord because I keep thinking there's gonna be a message. So sorry about that if I keep looking away and then stopping to talk. Stop talking when I stop talking. You know. Sorry, I can't speak. It's a problem I've got. I'm bad at speaking. I used to think it was just because I didn't interact with people, but I think I'm genuinely bad at speaking. It's one of the many reasons why I'm glad that I don't work on the phones, because I'd be horrendous when it comes to customer service. How much money do you want to put on those guys staying golden? I'm gonna put £0 in it. Yep. Yeah, sure. I like a free minion to sell. Put you here. Get you. I think we're gonna start getting with these boys. I know it's sacrilegious. They've done so much for us, but I've decided, although they have done a lot, it is time for them to rest. And instead let these Icharon the Protector do his work as a fort of 15/9 with Divine Shield, thanks to this boy, Nomu Kitchen Nightmare. I think that's good. You know, sometimes I've considered adding a stream in on Saturday or Sunday, just sort of like similar to this one, where I just play what I feel like I want to play. But I don't know, it's very much a 50-50. Because on one hand, I'm like... On one hand, I'm like, occasionally I want to do it, but occasionally I'm just so burnt out that I don't want to do it. And I'd feel bad if I had it in the schedule that I was going to do something and then I just didn't, you know? I think that's the biggest thing to me. It's like, if I'm putting something on the schedule, I am committing to it, right? And I don't want to be in a situation where I've committed to said thing and then I'm just like, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm then forcing... One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'll take it a free 50-50. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm forcing myself to do something, and because I know it will come across as obvious to the people who are watching, especially if it's people who have watched me for a long period of time, they'll know that something's not right. And of course I choose the 3, 6. What am I doing? But yeah, I don't know. It's always 50-50 with it. I might do a couple of surprise streams though. Because I do know that like Saturdays and Sundays are probably the situation where I'd what's the word? Where I'd be more likely to get more people, you know, because the people have more time on the weekends. So maybe it's a situation where, like, in actuality, if you decided to do it, you'd find yourself actually getting more traction. Which, you know I always say that, like, at the end of the day, I'm doing this as a hobby, so I don't really care if I make it big or if I even make it at all. But, you know, there's nothing bad about deciding, hey, but what if you just did a bit more effort? And Like, what if you make a bit more of an effort to actually try and get there, even if you don't care if you do or not, you know? God, occasionally it feels like they switch my positionings and stuff. And then sometimes I catch them doing it. But then they always switch it back when I catch them. And I feel like occasionally when I don't catch them, they still do it. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? Yeah, I don't think I've got much longer to blimmin' survive in this thing. I'll take an enchanter Mac for if I survive. I'm going up against first, so I think it's borderline impossible. But, you know, you gotta keep the enthusiasm. They could just be having an incredibly bad time at that specific moment where I'm dealing with them, you know? It's entirely possible. It's not really probable, but it's possible, you know? Is getting an extra 3/3 on this worth selling this? No, of course not. What kind of question is that? It's obviously not. Well, let's see if we lose. Boop-a-doop-a-doo-boo-boo. Boop-a-doop-a-doo-boo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo. Oh, that's actually a really good thing. So they want me to be around there. I am kind of around there. I can move this slightly up. Is that bad? I don't know. I'm always iffy on like my volume and how loud I am. I don't want to be too loud, but also I don't want to be overpowered by the audio, you know? Let's have a look at what the actual true Holy damn, that's so much better than me. Shocked Pikachu face. And then I'm about to die face. %100% my own fault. I'm not really good at using having this and learning how to use these one-turn effects for like effectively. I played a bit of this, as you can probably guess. It's just such a fun thing to do casually, you know? You're just sitting there going like, oh, what do I do at this point? I know, let's do it a blimmin' this. Also, the seasons are quite long, you know? You know what I played for the first time in a while, and I'm talking like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month. I played Marvel Rivals. And you know what? I am really 50-50 on that game. When I went back, I realized that I was having significantly less fun than I expected to. I was just looking at all the heroes and not really getting any inspiration to sort of play any of them. And it's the first hero sort of shooter I've gotten into. But it did sort of make me glad that I didn't buy the battle pass for it, though. I think that's one of the things that I am pretty proud of myself and being able to do, is be pretty good at keeping... I've been pretty restrained in on my like purchases. A lot of the time, I've seen people that go like, oh, I'm really into this game, I'm immediately buying the battle pass. And I'm very, very good at sort of going like, I'm not going to buy cosmetics unless I really, really want them. And a lot of the time it never gets to that point. I'm not going to blimmin' buy... I'm not going to buy, like, the Battle Pass unless I made sure that I'm having a lot of fun in the game. You know, it's things like that that make me, I think, pretty happy with how it's going a lot of the time. Because if I had gone on my instincts, I'd be instantly going like, we're buying this, we're buying this, we're buying this, you know? Instead, like, I've stuck to my guns, and in actuality, I now have, like, however much it would have cost to do that. I think it was about 12, maybe 10 quid. I'm now 10 quid better off, you know? I really need to practice some of these games. I want to get good at one of the games, you know? I want to find a game that I have so much fun playing that I can actually go through the effort of getting actually good at it, you know? Because I don't think there is a game that I can confidently say that I've done that for yet. That I can go out on a limb and go like, no, I am good at this game, you know? I'm always going to be some form of like bronze player, if I'm being honest. I think a lot of the time I'm I don't even know what I just said. My head is literally that empty that I didn't know what I literally just said. Oh yeah, I'm always at bronze level. And if I ever get higher than bronze, it's almost certainly because we're buying these. We're buying that. If I'm ever like any higher than that, it's almost certainly because I've one of my friends is playing and they are carrying me in some variety, you know? I'm quite lucky in that aspect that I've got pretty good, like, what's the word? Pretty pro, friends when it comes to, like, almost every game. Like, they're normally in, like, the platinum sort of gold sort of area. And then there's me just going like, I shoot vaguely in the direction, but I'm not very good at hitting. I'm not very good at healing, and I'm not very good at tanking. Marvel Rivals does a good job of making me feel like I'm good, though, because they do the whole thing of like, if you get a bit of damage on the thing, they're like, wow, you scored a kill, you know? When in actuality you haven't. I love doing that. Improved every 4 spells, sadly, though. Do I get rid of Deep Sea Angler? Nah. Boom. I know I'm not using this ability at all. Later on, when board space becomes more of a problem, you start using the tavern spells a lot more. At least I've found. Yeah, going back onto the what games I was thinking about playing, I also thought about playing MTG. But the reason I'm not playing MTG is very, very simple. It feels like a weird time to start spending currency on drafts when I know that Tarkir Dragonstorm's coming out. And if I wait for that to come out, you know, it's a new set. I'll have enough to do. I think I've got enough at the moment to do 2 drafts, and if I do well in them, probably a third. But you know, it's fair enough. That's potentially 3 streams depending on well, potentially 2 streams depending on how good it goes. You know. Damn, I thought I was doing a lot better than I thought I was guaranteed to win that. I did fine, right? There's no I'm not complaining about it, but I was a bit surprised there. So does this count as a? Yeah, it did. Okay, it does count. You know, I probably should shout out the music I'm using. It's somebody called Nolan Pilgrim. He has this lo-fi but awesome DMCA and copyright-free music that he's just put into a 7-hour long thing. It's incredible. I love it. Because, I mean, finding DMCA free music that you don't have to pay for and doesn't have adverts is something that you very rarely see. So I really, really appreciate them doing that. My plan, by the way, is to use this Goldenizer on that minion that every time you play a Naga, it gets a bonus to its damage. To its stats, sorry. I forget what it's called, but I think it's got many arms. And then I think it punches you. I feel like its name is the Many-Armed Puncher. Or the Geyser Brawler. In my head, it's the Geyser Brawler. I'm not sure if that's his name. But this guy's called... This person's called the Lava Lurker. So, you know... I don't think it's too weird what I'm saying. No, I don't want any of these. I mean, it's a spellcraft. It's something. None of these are spellcraft. That's... Oh, no. Oh, no, that guy. Literally the guy right there. He's spellcraft. In fact, I don't need this. I'm going to get this. Because this gives me an extra gold. I can play this on you. I can play this on you. I can play this. Then I can play this. Then I can play this. And I can play this. Look at that. I can get another one of these boys, which is another +7/+7 every turn. On, you know, it's a temporary +7/+7 for everyone except for this person, but still. I'm a bit annoyed I haven't got a second Lava Lurker, or a third Lava Lurker. I kind of want to have this get up to gold before you start unlocking more and more stars, you know? But also, you're in a race to get to the better stuff, so I'm less likely to actually stop and allow that to happen. Okay, my all eggs in one basket strategy does not work. But it would have worked if they aimed better. But I mean, I can't blame them. It's all random, you know. But I really thought I was gonna win that. I mean, this one's pretty good to put bonuses onto. But, like, who do you replace here? Like, the obvious answer is this guy. And the obvious answer is normally the right answer. Okay, we'll put that on you for the final time. 1, 2, 3. So now this one's pretty powerful, and he can sort of tank for a bit. And then you put the permanent on that guy because he'll be the strongest. So this is pretty cool. That's another heavy hitter. We're not putting all our eggs in one basket. Like, if everything kills all of our guys in one shot, this guy's technically more damage than this. No, they're technically one less damage than this guy. What does this guy do again? Oh, he's the gladiator. So he's just really glad to pose for pictures, but he's also a gladiator. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I actually see gladiators a lot as like the ancient version of celebrities, right, in that time. Like, there was many of them that decided to stay, even when they get their freedom, they'd still fight because, one, they have no other job. That's the sort of sneaky thing, is that they had no other discernible skills except for fighting in an arena. But two, also, I imagine the fame is not insignificant. It's not the... It's one of the reasons, probably, right? We'll buy this. Who do we put in for Akira? I think we don't want to get rid of all of these, you know? Do we keep Akira? He's strong. But maybe he's not needed yet. Maybe we're fine as is at the moment. This isn't the guy I was talking about, though, by the way. This guy's pretty good, though. If you can get him killed off immediately, it's +10/+10 to everybody. I'm in that situation where if I get one of these guys, or one of these guys, then I already just have a free space and I don't have to sack any of these to get this guy into there. Admittedly, I kind of want to get a Zesty Shaker copy instead of a blimmin' Thaumaturgist copy. Because this lowers the amount of spells I get every turn, because I don't get 2. They don't double that part of it. Maybe because I think Nagas might have been overpowered if that happened. Although, maybe not. Maybe if you kept the power the same, but you doubled it. Look, they just switched them. I mean, that has no narrative effect on me, but... like, they shouldn't be able to do that, surely, right? Oh, what a strategy, actually. That's kind of genius. All of them have poisonous, so they all probably take out one person. Also, they all have, like, divine shield. Come on. Oh, the gods shine on me today. The gods super shine on me today. I think this is better than this. In fact, I'm so confident it's better than this that I'm getting rid of that. And we're playing this boy. How many situations where when I play a spell do I have to do for this to... You know what? You're getting gold. +2/+2 and everything? We get 2 copies from doing that? I'm now at the point where I do want to get a second one of these. Or maybe I just want to play a load of spells. I don't want a random Murloc. I do want money, though. Look at this. Right, so now every turn, I'm getting +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm getting +14/+14 of stats. The other one was doing +11. But the thing is, this could be even better. This synergizes with my ability. Where every 4th spell I get for free. And every one of the spells I was casting was also buffing something, you know? You count that banana in there, it's another +2/+2. The extra money that adds for something, you know, I think this is generally the right decision the more I think about it. Okay. I think we're good here. Because of the general high stats of everything I have now. Because I'm... Spreading out the stats like this is such a huge bonus, I feel like. Okay, anything here that I want? No, I think we're going to hit this button here. Then we're going to hit this button here. This is the dude I wanted. Or the gal I wanted. I was close with the name, right? Ooh. Ooh, God, that's a good blimmin' thing to have. That's a good thing to have at the moment. Just give a casual buffs here. I think this is also important, is that that thing gives, like... That may be slightly better in the first round, but that only goes up by +1/+1 every 4 spells. Whereas this goes up... You know, this is important, like, every turn. This at the moment, because I get 3 spells inherently... Wait, I get... Sorry, I don't get 3 spells inherently. I get 5 spells. So this is a plus... What was it? +14/+14 of stats 5 times. So it's 5 times 14. Which is quick maths in head. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. 56? 56 worth of stats? I could be completely wrong in that in the basic maths I just did there, but I think I'm okay. I mean, look at this. Look at the general stat lines of my guys, and then look at the general stat lines of their guys. Their big boy is obviously like comparable to my big boy, but then their small boys are not comparable to my small boys. And in the later game, I imagine that's important. I have to put the word imagine in, because I'm not 100% sure when it comes to anything in this. Play this, we get this. We play this. We get the Discover of Tavern spell. I'll choose this. And we'll get rid of you. We'll play this. Oh, I should have played this first. Oh well. Hindsight. Blah 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 blah. Okay, let's play. We probably actually want copies of this. Do this, play... We won't play these. Statistically, I've done something wrong by doing what I just did before, but... I'll be completely honest, I'm not at the point where I care. Do I want to play any of these next turn? No, we always get one spell. Okay, now we spend these. Look at the stats! The problem is, I probably want to get rid of this one next. So that I have a free space that I constantly can play stuff so that I can buff this. And then they can give spells that I can then spend to buff everything. Okay. Okay, my main guy didn't have enough damage to take down their main guy. Which is scary if it wasn't for the sheer amount of buffs everyone else has. But I do think this boy's the next one to go. I don't think I need a second one of those as much as it seems really cool. Obviously, we'll keep him around until we find something that's better to suit him. But until then, we keep this boy around. And we play every spell we can actually get access to. Then, boop. Give me 2 of these, please. Play 1 on you. Play 1 on you. Boom. Do I get rid of him now? I believe we do. This could be a huge mistake. I don't think it is, though. Because not only do I get to do this... It so wasn't a huge mistake. I'm actually so happy. Look at this boy. I don't know. Play this. Oh, another card that I can play. And then we're pausing that because that's actually really helpful, as the name suggests. Look at that change. We've now got a hitter that's bigger than you can possibly imagine. It's always a shame when your big boy gets poisoned. But thanks to our huge amounts of stats, we've got other big boys. We've got other big boys. Look, their big boy then, we just instantly killed. God, I always get so into a game as soon as I feels like I'm about to win. Boop. Give me my helpful. None of these are helpful. I'll take this, though. Actually, this is helpful. Ooh, that's helpful as well. I don't remember how much these cost normally, though. I'll take the increased gold value. I'll take this. This is another spellcraft, so I'll take that. Let's put it on you. We'll play this. We'll likely play this. Put that on you. Put this on everyone. We'll play this in anticipation of the next turn. And then we'll start this. Get the 2. Put the first one on here. Put the second one on here. It's actually to the point where this guy is going to start being stronger than him. Which is completely fair. What we need is the one that gives him Divine Shield. That would be huge. Normally I'd put that guy permanently on the team because he can give another person temporary but Divine Shield. But I actually feel like with this team, you maybe don't have that. You don't need that guy there because you lose stats by doing that. Because all of his guys have to one-on-one me, or they lose. If one of my guys survives more than one hit, they just lose because they don't have poisonous anymore. It's such an interesting way of playing that, I will say. Play this. We get this. Other than that, I don't think I want any of those. Ooh, we'll pick up that one. That one's huge. We'll pick up this as well. Do this. Get a tavern spell. I'll take the +1/+1 to everything. Take this. Take this. Take this. We do want this. Do we want it enough to sell this? This unit's not helping. We 100% want this though. We just start the... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I put it on the wrong person. We just lost a lot of bonus damage there. Oh, rookie mistake there. I would have gotten an extra 3 instances of temporary damage. We're not getting the buff on the permanent buff of this guy. Do I think that's the difference between winning and losing? I think it's unlikely. But if it's every little bit that matters, right? Why is this person still here? Is this a glitch? It feels like it's a glitch. Oh, this guy's also running really only running like one empty space really. But I don't think he just scales, sadly. Demons are interesting in how they scale. I only know one way to play them where they scale, but... I sold the guy. We're going to ignore that. And we're not going to try and get really good stuff out of that. We're going to play you. We'll give this boy 2 attack. I should actually put all of them on the Divine Shield person, realistically. We'll take this. We'll put this on Divine Shield guy. I'm going to do exactly what I said I was going to do. You don't just say something for the sake of it and then not do anything. Do I buy this even though it's... Yeah, we're buying it. Even though it's just a Naga that doesn't have... Ooh, that's huge. That's actually huge. Oh, if one of these was a Naga, that would have been perfect. Okay, now we start the thing. We go like this. Doesn't matter that you're 400 attack now. This guy technically is double that. Okay, I don't like songs that do that weird... You know what they do? They do that, like, mic crack thing that makes me really worry that my mic is cracking and somehow I can hear it for some reason. Having this guy as the final is probably the best one to have as the final. Because it's a death rattle... It's got venomous, which is kind of the only big thing there that's important. Because with it having that, it means that it's sort of a safety net. I know we've gone a bit over our time, but I want to finish this game. And realistically, it's... I don't want to toot my own horn here. So I'm not going to say it. I was going to say something. I realised it would be arrogance to say it. And so I've immediately stopped myself from saying it. You could definitely make the argument, but the fact I'm talking about how it's arrogance is inherently arrogant of a thing to say, and therefore already making it so that I lose. My argument to that is, I don't know, I don't think before I say anything. 1 mana spell. Damn! Is it worth... Is it worth losing this for more right, we're going in for the kill. Yeah, we're doing it for the thrill. We're hoping they understand. 100% +2 to everything is worth however much that was giving me in buffs. That's 100% worth it. How many buffs has this given to everybody? 75 instances of +2/+2. So this has gotten a casual, what is it, like 145? Is that 75 times 75? 150? It's 150. 150, 152, 152 from just that. Battlecry doubling. What's the logic there? What am I missing? Oh, I lose. No, I don't lose. It's a draw. My hubris. It was 100% my hubris that got me there. Oh no. Normally when they start drawing with me, it's when I realise that I'm going to lose. It's at that point I realise that I don't have strong enough units to deal with it when they realise my strategy and they start beating me. I'm not even trying to joke here, as in like, oh no, I'm so scared, when I'm not actually. I am actually scared. Every time somebody has decided to stop me, I've lost. In some capacity. I don't even think having one of these units actually matters. I mean, I do think that probably this one's the best in this situation. I need that one that gives Divine Shield. Like a lot. Because my stats don't matter against this build. If he gets a couple of Divine Shields up, I think I lose. Well, yeah, if they get a couple of Divine Shields up, I think I lose. Yeah, I've lost, surely. Oh no, I've won! I've won! I've won! Okay, that's my stream. What a way to end it. I will see you all on Wednesday for some Baldur's Gate. I will see you all on Friday for some FF14. But until then, stay groovy. Bye.